What is up, everybody? It is your local Vancouver. Oh, sorry. Your local Ottawa fan. It's just with how many players have gone to Vancouver, it wouldn't have been surprising if I went there too. No, you see, the difference is I'm not under contract, because if I was, clearly I would have left Ottawa by now. This is an expansion free agency talk. Initially, I wanted to do this at the same time because I thought, like, oh, well, expansion, we're losing 4 players. And I honestly had a feeling about the first 2. I thought Maschmeyer and Serdachny made sense. And at first, I was like, that's not bad. I expected Maschmeyer. We have our goalie of the future in Phillips. That's okay. It sucks. Maschmeyer is one of my first players. That was one of my favorites. Honestly, if it wasn't for the injury, if she was still in Ottawa, she probably would have been the player who I'd get a jersey of. But Phillips is great. We love Spidey Gwen, okay? That's fine. You know what? MASH deserves to start. And with Gwyneth Phillips, she wouldn't be the starter. Like, if she was healthy, she wouldn't be the starter for the Ottawa Charge. And she is starter caliber. Go to Vancouver. No harm, no foul. Danielle Serdachny makes sense. Young, lots of potential. When they left, I actually thought, you know what, that's kind of best case scenario for Ottawa, because these are 2 players that deserve to have a chance at being the player who's in charge. I don't think Serdachny's quite there yet, but I do think she will be an impact player in this league in the future. And let's be honest, they didn't really impact our playoff run all that much. I mean, Maschmeyer didn't play. Serdachny had moments, but she wasn't one of the reasons why we A, made the playoffs, or B, went far in the playoffs. Then we lost Terlova and Bell. Personally, I was actually a little surprised that we didn't protect a second defender. But okay, I like Gabby Hughes. I'm glad we have Gabby Hughes. And if we didn't protect Gabby Hughes, she would be gone. Like, let's get that straight. If we protected either of Bell or Terlova, then Hughes would be gone. And I expected us to protect either Bell or Hughes and lose whoever we didn't. Makes sense. I would take them both as well. If I was making the decisions for Vancouver or Seattle, yeah, I'd be going after Bell. I'd be going after Terlova. Makes sense. So it stung when we lost those 2, but I was like, that's all right. I especially thought that's all right because look at the free agency coming up. Are we going to lose some players? Yeah, sure, probably. But there's so much available talent. We're going to sign some good players. Hey, Mike, we're going to sign some good players, right? Hello, wake up. What are we doing? I had to write it down because I did not believe it. So, we lost Maschmeyer, Serdachny, Terlova, and Bell to expansion. Nothing you can do, right? Like, if you didn't protect them, you're going to lose somebody else. It happens. I can't be upset at that. Again, I think we're one of the teams that actually didn't get hit the hardest. I know losing Terlova and Bell is a hard hit. I think Minnesota lost 4 players that were impactful in them winning the cup. I think we lost 2 players that were impactful in us making it to the finals. Look at poor New York. My goodness, they got decimated. Hillary Knight no longer on the Boston Fleet. And for us losing our first-round draft pick, everyone lost their first-round draft pick. That's one thing I want to say. A lot of people are angry at Vancouver and Seattle. Oh my gosh, how did they got all these great players? And now, during free agency, they keep signing good players. Whatever happened to the cap? Personally, I think that's exactly what happened. They took a bunch of rookies, and that doesn't hit the cap nearly as much. Yes, they're good players. Yes, in a few, I don't think that a lot of the players that, especially the young players that Vancouver and Seattle got, are going to be Vancouver-Seattle for life. But that's a good way to start the season. You've got some rookies. You're probably going to be able to keep a few of them around. That's good. That's a good start. And they're on rookie contracts. They are not making $100,000 a year. And for players, like, let's be honest, Clark and Jenner, who probably are making that much, you look at that, Jenner was an available pick. You look at Jenner, you look at Serdachny, and you probably are thinking to yourself, well, one, yes, they're proven, but they're very expensive. The other, unproven, but is younger, has more potential for the future, and costs a whole lot less. I actually think that's why Jenner's still on the team. I think that Jenner's price tag is probably what warded Seattle and Vancouver off. I honestly think that's why we didn't think to protect her, even when we had another opportunity. Protect the players that are making not as much as Jenner, because they're more likely to get selected. So I will say I do think that did happen. That the salary cap did prevent certain players from getting selected, and it's why a lot of young players got taken. But now that free agency has started, there's no excuse, right? Like, now every player that we lose, excluding Victoria Bach, who retired, and great career, and thanks for your last season being in Ottawa. It was a wonderful season, and I do think that she was a big reason towards the end of the season there why we ended up making it. And, what could have been? And that's really what I'm feeling now, because, my goodness, since free agency, we've also lost Darkangelo, Rose, Jinsey Rose, Zoe Boyd, and Teresa Vanishova. That is 9 players that have just simply ceased to exist as an Ottawa Charge member. For expansion, I get. For the free agency, even, sure. And the retiring, nothing you can do. The problem isn't that we've lost 4 players to free agency. The problem is we've got no one. Like, no one. This is who we have, for sure, on our team next year. Emily Clark, Brianne Jenner, Gabby Hughes, Katerina Mrazova, Rania Savalainen, Jocelyn Larocque, Gwyneth Phillips. Literally, half of them, more than half, we protected. So the only reason they're still on the Charge is because we didn't let other teams take them. There are 3 players. Katerina Mrazova, Jocelyn Larocque, and Brianne Jenner, who are on contract with us next year and weren't protected. Now we also have another 3, Manon McMahon, Anna Mexner, and Stephanie Markowski, bringing us up to a grand total of 10, who are restricted free agents, so very likely to be coming back. The other free agents we have include Rebecca Leslie, Natalie Snodgrass, Alexa Vasco, Taylor House, Samantha Isbell, Jessica Adelson, Logan Angers, and Lucy Morgan. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that of those, the ones that have actually been playing with us are Leslie, Snodgrass, Vasco, House, and Isbell. Those 5 I can remember, them playing a few games for the Charge. Others are not saying that they won't be, and I do think they will be. But you look at that, you look at the fact that none of them are signed, not even Rebecca Leslie. Not even hometown hero, multiple big goals in the playoffs, at home, crowds going wild. How is she not day 1 of free agency back on the Charge? She is the hometown hero and was one of the most impactful players in the playoffs. That is quite frankly, that's a decision that if I were GM, it would have taken me all of 1 meeting to have her re-signed. Vanishova was our number one goal scorer on the team. One of the biggest reasons why we made the playoffs in the first place. The first player in PWHL history to score a hat trick multiple times in a season. The first player to get a Gordie Howe hat trick in a game, to the point that we were calling it a Vanishova hat trick. Oh, and she's also one of the fan favorites. How do you not hand her a blank check? Say, name a number. What do you want? What does it take to keep you in Ottawa? How on earth does she go to any other team? Last season, I could at least understand, right? What was the line on Daryl Watts when she left Ottawa? She left to win. Toronto finished number 1 in the standings. Sure, they got eliminated in the first round, but they're a strong, good, competitive, tough team. Ooh, they're a team that'll be a threat with her on the roster. They could go all the way next year. What did Ottawa do? Missed the playoffs. On the last day of the season, they missed the playoffs. Now, sure, we only made it on the last day of the season, but do you remember where we were at the halfway mark? We were dead in the water, dead last, just terrible. And in the second half of the season, we were one of the best teams in the league, night in, night out, win after win after win. And then what happened? We made the playoffs, took the best team in the league, Montreal, to the back of the barnyard, said, sorry, see you later. You can win 1 game. It'll take you 4 overtimes to do it, though. Got rid of maybe the best team. Oh my, right, they were being crowned Walter Cup champions at the start of game 1. They didn't even get to game 5. And yeah, same thing happened with us, but also it was close. It was a 2-1 game in overtime every single game against Minnesota. Every single game was decided by that much. Genuinely, if Britta Curl gets suspended in game 1, gets a tripping call in game 2, good chance we go back to Ottawa in game 5. At the very least, we are competitive. More competitive than Toronto and Montreal, who haven't figured out how to win a series yet. Right? Right? At least one of the teams on the upper side of competitive teams, right? Sure, Vancouver, Seattle, obviously Minnesota, back-to-back cups, and then Ottawa, right? And then you've got New York, Montreal, Toronto, Boston. They all could be competitive. Any of them could win the cup next year, but Boston missed the playoffs last year. New York is New York. Toronto and Montreal, yeah, they have great regular seasons, but in the playoffs, they kind of disappear. We were proven, right? We were the proven team. Why is it? It's not just that players are leaving. It's good players, fan favorite players, players that are beloved. Jinsey Rose was assistant captain. Vanny Shova was our top goal scorer. Why are we sitting on our hands, twiddling our thumbs? And again, I'd be okay if we were signing players from other teams. Oh, I don't know. There's an idea. Watching good players from other teams. Cava? No, she'll go sign somewhere else. Spooner? No. Tapany? No. Who's going to be left? Who are we going to end up signing? Are we going to build through the draft? Are we going to re-sign only our free agents? That's it. And then just build through the draft? I mean, Herschel better have some 40 chess moves ready. Oh, we better see him trade a second, a third, and a fourth in 2035 and Fillier and Poulin come to Ottawa. Or I'm going to lose it. I've done more during free agency by making this video than the Charge have done. This is absurd. We've lost 9 players. We've signed 0. We haven't, again, Rebecca Leslie is a layup. She's a breakaway with an empty net. Is she a proven impact player? Well, yeah, I'd say so. Did you not see her in the playoffs? Is she young and therefore it's logical to assume that she's got more hockey in her and is only going to improve? Well, yeah, I'd say so. You know, she's not on the wrong side of 30 or the wrong side of 35. And, you know, you're looking at that and saying, well, you know, you had some big impact goals, but how much hockey you got left in her? She's at the start of her hockey career. She's going to get better. She's going to be scoring more goals. In all likelihood, she'll do better next season than she did this season. She'll do way better 2 seasons from now than this season. 3 to 5 seasons from now, she's going to be in her prime. So now is the time that, you know, you want her to commit to Ottawa. Does she like Ottawa? Well, she kind of lived here her whole life. So I'd imagine, yeah, probably. She's a big-time Ottawa Senators fan. She went to the Sens game in the press box and had to resist going cheering like crazy because she is a big-time Sens fan. She was talking when we played at the CTC, she was talking about how it was a literal dream come true. From when she was a little girl, that's what she dreamed of, right? To be on a big hockey team, a professional hockey team that plays in the Canadian Tire Center. That's what every kid in Ottawa dreams of. That's what she was saying. How is she a free agent? Open your wallet. Like, because who else are we paying? Vanny Shova, we're not paying her. So you don't have to worry about that. Don't worry, the other stars like Kava, Tapani, and Spooner don't need to worry about them. You want Skarmer or Adja back? Oh, don't worry about that either. Because other teams have been doing this thing called signing players. And this has led me to one of two beliefs, and I don't know which one is worse. Number one is that we aren't opening up the wallet. That we aren't offering players what they're worth, what they deserve. That we're lowballing them, pissing them off, and having them say, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else where management actually respects me and my talents. That's number one. Because the fans obviously, look at me, see how hot, I don't think I've been this angry in a video before. I think this might be like we're at DEFCON 1. You know, this is what I'm going to say. If Rebecca Leslie, but what day are we? The 17th, I think? Yeah. If by the end of Wednesday, Rebecca Leslie's still a free agent, fire Hirschfeld. Seriously. Like, how is she? Or, no wait, this is if we aren't opening our wallet. That's when I would say, yeah, you gotta fire him. But there is another option. A much worse option. We are opening our wallet. We did give Vanishova a blank check. We offered Vanishova more than Vancouver. But then why isn't she here? Maybe we did give a legit fair deal, more than fair deal, to Darkangela, Rose, Boyd. Maybe we called them up, said, hey, in Ottawa, we really like you. The fans love you. We want you to stick around. And we've got an offer that we believe is more than generous to convince you to stick around. And they said, nope, don't want to be part of this team, bye. If it's option 2, I don't think you can fire Mike Hirschfeld. That won't solve anything. You need to tear it down. You need to go player by player and say, why? This team that had a deep run, what is it? Is it each other? Is it the leadership? Is it the coaching? Is it the management? Is it us? Is it the fans? Why don't you want to stay? Why don't you want to resign? Why don't any of the free agents want to come here? Especially the free agents. Because if there's some sort of culture problem in Ottawa, that would maybe explain why Ottawa players aren't re-signing. It doesn't explain why non-Ottawa players are avoiding us like the plague. Unless we have such a toxic locker room that even Boston players are like, oh yeah, no, I'm not touching that. Oh, no thanks. So which one is it? Is it that our players aren't getting offered what they're worth? Or is it that we have a problem that's deeper? We have organizational rot. And the finals last year was a fluke. And we're about to enter some dark times. And it will take a long time to fix this. Now, of course, there is option 3. There is, like I said, 40 chess option. Maybe Mike Hirschfeld is offering fair deals, and other teams are offering more than fair deals. And Hirschfeld is playing smart and saying, no, I can find other players at fair deals. I can get it through the trade. I can get it through the draft. I can get it through the free agents that nobody else is thinking of. You know, one player who I'd really like to see signed? Michaela Grant-Mentis. Everyone is like, why on earth did we get rid of her? Ever since we did, she's had it out for us. and scored on us like almost every game. Signing her would be genius. Because A, she wouldn't be one of the most expensive players out of free agency to sign. B, it would do a lot in terms of regaining some goodwill with the fans, right? Bringing back a player that we were upset left in the first place. And C, it would be getting a decent, good, impactful player at a fraction of the price of another player who maybe would only score 4 to 5 goals more at 40 to 50 grand more. If we do something like that, okay. And maybe it's exactly that. It's trying to find the smart pieces, and that at the start of next season, oh, I'm going to be happy, Charge fans are going to be happy. But I look at this, again, the Rebecca Leslie one pisses me off. How? How does it take this? How have you not had that conversation already, right? Like, that should be an extension that happened the moment free agency opened, right? Like, you see that in the NHL. And it's an extension, so, like, we can talk to her about that. Now, one other thing that I want to mention is that we're going to soon learn what the contracts are. That's great. That's awesome. I think that's great for the sport. I have friends that like don't watch the PWHL as much as I do because they're like, oh, if I don't know what the contracts are, it's hard for me to like, it's hard for me to know what to make of teams. If they're poorly constructed or not. Obviously, it's easy to say, well, I want my team to have Poulin, Jenner, Clark, Phillips, and just list every single star in the game. And Hillary Knight, and Fillier, and Carpenter. Like, yeah, great. Wonderful idea. You're not going to have a fourth line because you won't be able to afford it. But when you know how much players are making, you're able to see the strategy. It's possible that maybe we made an accident. We accidentally added too many zeros to one of the players' contracts. Oh, that's why we haven't signed anybody. But it'd be nice to know. And Mike Hirschfeld, buddy, if you can hear me, Mike, I like you. I want you to stay in Ottawa. I want you to keep your job. You got to sign some players, though. You got to make some moves. Because as more time goes on, as more players don't come back, the noise is going to get louder and louder and louder. And people are going to ask questions. And people are going to point fingers. And I've already seen that. Some people are saying, oh, maybe it's the like me. Oh, maybe it's that they don't like each other. And I don't like to be the guy who's pushing rumors, right? But I also am trying to make sense of what we're doing. I'm trying to make sense of why Vanny Shova didn't come back. Because somebody messed up. Somebody messed up by not making sure she was a part of the team next year. And I hate to just definitively say it's the GM. But if it isn't the GM, it's someone. Someone grossly messed up. And every day that we don't sign players, someone is grossly messing up. And if we are like a bottom of the barrel team next year, heads will roll. And after the season we had last year, I didn't think I'd be saying that so soon. Make some moves. And as always, go, Ottawa, go!